Welcome back to the channel. I'm Crypto Trend Trader, and today we're going to be taking a look at Basic Candlestick Analysis Part 1. This is for newer people that aren't familiar with looking at charts. We're just going to take 1 minute here and essentially break down what these candlesticks mean and how they work. So what you get here is this is the wick, the center line part here, and then this is called the body here, the colored part. And what that means is basically where the price moves throughout this period. So if we're looking at the 1 hour right now, that's going to be a 1 hour worth of price action. So if the price moves up, this wick is going to represent where the price moves to on the upside, and if the price moves down, the wick will represent where it moved down to on the downside. And now the body essentially will start where the previous candle ended. So as you'll see in this case, the candle ends here, the next candle starts here. And the green just basically symbolizes that from where it started to where it ended, it was a positive move upward, and red means where it started to where it ended, it was down move. So it makes it easy on the eyes to see. So you'll see if we had a nice pump up here and then we stopped at the high, we never actually sold off, then the next candle would start right here at the bottom, and there would be no wick initially, and then say there was a little bit of a sell-off, it came down here, this would start to turn red as it goes negative, but then all of a sudden it gets bought back up and it goes to higher prices, and then this hour ends, and now our next candle would start right here, and it would start as just a sliver. There'd be nothing to it, no wick or anything. And then what would happen then is, let's assume now that the price started to sell off, and it started getting very, very violent. And then what's going to happen with the wick is it's going to be here regardless now of what the price does. The wick stays, so you can see what happened during that time. So now all of a sudden if it starts getting bought back up, the wick remains behind, so you can see during that time period what exactly happened. So it sort of paints a picture for you to better understand what the chart's been doing if you haven't been staring at it all day. So now if all of a sudden price started pushing to the upside, it would go neutral right here, and then it would actually turn green as soon as it goes positive, and then again it would start pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, and what's going to happen? The wick's going to be there regardless, and now say it started selling back off, selling back off, selling back off, getting ready to cross over negative. What's going to happen? It's going to turn back red again, and then it sells off, sells off, sells off, sells off, and then that's the end of the hour. That's where it's going to close. So now it would be very obvious that what happened is the price was moving up, it moved up higher, and the market felt like it topped out, so it sold off. It sold off below the candle in front of it, and as soon as it took out this candle right here, it likely meant that there was going to be continuation to the downside. So in that case, what's going to happen is we're going to get our next candle to start forming right here, and then it's going to start off just the same as nothing. And then essentially whatever it happens, let's say after a sell-off that big, I think it's likely that we would see a bounce followed by continuation. So let's say we got our bounce right here. What's going to happen? It's going to turn green, 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 green. And then people start to get confidence again, but nope, it's just people unloading their positions. So what's going to happen? It's going to leave the wick behind and sell off, sell off, sell off. And then finally it's going to continue selling off, and when it crosses over negative again from the point where that candle started at, that candlestick is going to continue red, and then finally the hour ends, and that's the end of the dump, and we're going to start the next candle right after that, and it just keeps going like that. So what you can do is you can basically see key points where price was interacting on, resistance, support, etc., and then you can use those points to get an idea where you're headed to next. But if you're not staring at the chart all the time, you can have an idea of what's been happening. You can look at charts over weeks, months, years, or even days, hours, whatever you prefer. But this is going to give you a very clear picture of exactly what took place. Alright guys, well thanks for coming back to the channel. This is Crypto Trend Trader, Basic Candlestick Analysis, Part 1. And we're going to be putting out more in-depth videos as we continue into Part 2 and on. And then eventually we'll be talking more about the specific candlestick patterns that take place, how to recognize reversals, continuation, key candles, and how understanding them can give you an idea where price is headed again, just by looking at a chart or in real time. So thanks a lot. That's Crypto Trend Trader signing off.